Hello and welcome back to Phantasy Calradia, and we're actually going to be starting a new series here, just a mini-series that is going to focus on a melee character that is probably going to be a barbarian, but I'm also kind of thinking that maybe we'll play a different race than what you might expect. Because I was actually kind of thinking to myself, what is going to be a really good race for a barbarian that is going to create an extremely strong character? What do you think? What do you think is going to be super strong? Well, it's probably going to be something like a drow or an orc or an undead. One of those is probably going to create a really strong individual combination that is going to create something so strong that we will probably have very difficult times actually dying, which is obviously what we want. We want to be able to survive as much as possible so that we can cleave our enemies in two. But the one thing that we also have to consider here is the addition of the magical items. These things are going to make a huge difference. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do Veteran Warrior right here. We're going to do Veteran Warrior. We're going to try to get as much Iron Flesh, as much athletics as we could possibly get. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go Barbarian here. I actually, yeah, I will go Barbarian, even though I'm kind of thinking that maybe I want to do Fighter. Because if I do Fighter, what does that actually give me? I don't actually know what that gives me in terms of the ability. Because I know that the Barbarian gives you a very interesting ability where if you get hit, you have a percentage chance to increase your damage done for the remainder of the battle, as far as I can tell. So we'll just play the Barbarian for now, and we'll just see how that goes. Maybe it's going to be terrible, maybe it's going to be good, but we are going to start with 3 Iron Flesh, which is pretty good, 3 Athletics, which is pretty good, and then obviously we have 2 in Looting. A little bit worried about the 2 in Looting, to be honest. I kind of would prefer a bit more than that. So I'm actually kind of thinking that maybe we'll play something like a Rogue as a secondary class. But if you take a look and see exactly what's going on here with our stats, this is not really great. If we go for Fighter, however, that is going to increase our Iron Flesh by 1, which is obviously going to be fantastic. Our Weapon Master by 1 as well. We also have 4 in Leadership, which is amazing. So I'm thinking we're probably going to do that. Anyway, so as I said to you before, we could play Undead, which is probably pretty cool, but I've already played one of those, so I'm thinking we'll probably go Orc or Drow, and I'm thinking Drow at the moment, mostly because if we utilize the Drow Priestesses, that can actually be super fun to do, in my opinion at least. So I'm thinking we'll probably do that. What actually changes if we... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. We might want to go Orc. We might want to go Orc, actually. Look at the difference between the Power Strikes, right? Look at that. It literally gives us 2 Power Strike instantly just by being an Orc. Okay, well, yeah, we're just going to play an Orc, even though that's not exactly what I'm, you know, I'm not a big fan of going for, you know, the, shall we just say, this standard stereotype of what a barbarian is, which is, just, you know, just a big stonking orc, you know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of those kinds of things. I like doing something a little bit different, but I don't know whether it makes any difference. Does it really make that much of a difference? I don't know. Anyway, we're just going to pump as much into strength as we possibly can, just because we want a huge amount of Iron Flesh, huge amount of Power Strike, and I am also going to be going for nothing in... I don't think I'm going to be going for anything in Shield. I will want some in Looting. We want a significant amount in Magic Defense as well, because obviously Magic Defense is going to be a pretty big thing to try and reduce the amount of damage that you take, and we also need inventory management. So I will put 1 point in inventory management for the moment, and we're going to be going for one-handed here for a little bit of the time, because one-handed is actually going to make a huge difference to us. So I'm just going to randomize a little bit here, and then we're just going to go on, and we're going to start in Tolga, and we've already completed some of the quests, as you can see right there, which is obviously fantastic, because that means we have an additional amount of cash immediately, which is obviously fantastic. So let's actually be a little bit careful here, because obviously we are starting in pretty dangerous territory. There's a lot of deserters around here and everything, and zombies, as you can tell. And the zombies are actually not even difficult. They're going to be really easy for us to deal with eventually. But at the moment, obviously, that's probably not going to work. So I'm actually going to go and speak to the village elder straight away, and I'm actually going to do some of their quests. I'm going to do some of their quests because I need to try to get some relation up with these villages, because they are going to be the primary place that I recruit. I'm not going to be, I'm making the decision right now that I'm not going to actually be choosing to use any other factions units, with the exception of maybe the Drow. But I'm kind of in two minds about that right now, mostly because if we do want to go with an army that is mostly focused on orcs, it is going to make a huge difference for us to have a couple of clerics, you know, a couple of high priestesses, because if we have the high priestesses, they are literally just going to carry our army forward. Because obviously we got big stonking orcs to begin with on the front line. They are going to decimate, absolutely decimate any single enemy on the front. However, if you add on top of that a significant amount of healing and support magic that the clerics and the high priestesses are going to provide, well, then you've got a recipe for unstoppable, an unstoppable orcish horde that is just going to absolutely murder everything in its path, which obviously is the main point. So I'm kind of thinking that we'll probably go for something like that, but I'm not entirely sure right now. Well, I guess we'll just see. I guess we'll just see what's going on there, and maybe it's going to be cool, maybe it's not going to be. Anyway, we are going to, obviously, once we have finished training these peasants, we are indeed going to be getting a fight against some bandits. Alright, so as you get ready to continue the training, a sentry from the village runs up to you, and here we go. We are now going to be attacked by some bandits. How many do we actually have against us right here? 17. It's been a while since I've actually done this particular event, so this is going to be interesting. I actually don't even know whether I should even be using a mount here, but I'm kind of thinking that if I want to maximize my experience gain, I probably should be a little bit careful, because obviously these guys, they have, as you can quite clearly see, insane thrown weapon damage. And that's going to be a huge issue for us. But as you could no doubt tell, my Enrage activated. Did you see my Enrage activate? It set my damage at 124%. So whenever I hit something, my damage is increased by 124%, which is insane. In comparison to, I'm going to assume the standard is 100%, of course, as you might expect. Maybe? Is it? I don't know. I guess the standard is 100. And then you are inevitably going to be getting, you know, more than that, I suppose, when that inevitably gets activated. So yeah, we are just going to do this. There we go. I need to just go and speak to the guy in just a moment. But what we're also going to do is, I actually wanted to spend another point in inventory management, but I realize now that I'm going to need an additional point in intelligence, which obviously is not something that I really want to do right now. So the best course of action for me to take here is probably going for prisoner management. We found that prisoner management is very powerful in Phantasy Calradia. So I'm thinking we'll probably do that, or we can just go for another point in looting, which is in exactly what I'm actually going to take. I think that's probably a little bit better for us. And we're just going to speak to the village elder now. Did we actually complete the task? Yes, we did. Okay, so he actually doesn't need anything. He doesn't need to tell me anything right here, so that's obviously fantastic. By the way, this debug thing, that is not because I have cheat mode on or anything like that. I just want to nip that in the bud right away, because apparently people thought last time when that popped up that I had cheat mode on. I don't, okay? I don't. That is not something that I play with unless I tell you that I have used it, okay? So just wanted to get, you know, get that out the way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to all these villages. I'm just going to try and see if I can get quests and obviously recruit some additional people. And let's see, you really don't need anything? Are you serious? Come on. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they actually do need things, but they're just not wanting to. They just don't want to admit it, do they? They just don't want to admit it. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. Anyway, unfortunately, I can't recruit any more people by the looks of things. So yeah, no, these guys don't need anything. That is actually hilarious. Okay. That is really sad, actually. Okay, well, I'm going to go into the marketplace here. I do have some tools. I'm going to sell these tools for 377. I'm going to sell the throwing knives and the and the shield, and we're probably going to be attempting to buy a two-handed if I can, or maybe some other kind of sword. Like for example, I could buy this, but this is actually 700 gold, which I don't have, amazingly enough. I don't have 700 gold, so we're going to actually have to do something about that. I could buy the heavy sledgehammer, which crushes through blocks, which is actually pretty fantastic. Could go for the maul as well. Let's actually just have a look here. Okay, I'm thinking right now that I'm probably going to go for the maul. That's 194, and that is really, really cheap. So this is going to make a huge difference to us. And it actually allows for crushing through blocks, which is exactly what we want. And you've got to bear in mind that we also have dodge chance. Oh, Frudeck, absolutely perfect. Thank you very much, sir. And Matheld is also here, but as I said to you before, I'm probably only going to be taking orcs and drow to a certain extent, so that's what we're going to do. I can recruit people as well. We can recruit 10 orcs for 200 dinars. I actually don't think I want to do that right now, but I would like to go and speak to the guildmaster and see if he has a job for us. He doesn't have a job either. Oh, okay, wait a minute. What is the cause of all these wars? Okay. Right, okay, no, he has no job. Okay, that is hilarious. Do you have a tournament? There is a tournament. Okay, there is a tournament. Okay, so I will be doing the tournament, even though this is probably not going to really provide me with anything amazing, because I don't have a huge amount of cash, and I won't be able to maximize my, you know, well, anything from that. I actually already completed killing a kill, so that's all I needed to do to get to the next round. And we are getting a little bit of a script error here. I'm actually not entirely sure why that is, but it doesn't seem to be causing any kind of issue, so bear that in mind. And we are otherwise going to be absolutely fine here. I'm probably not going to be able to skip the round, unfortunately, because the well, all of my all of my allies seem to be getting massive kills. And I almost died. I actually almost died. Instantaneously, actually, because they did so much damage to me. Is that Dranton right there? I'm pretty sure that's Dranton. He's annoying. He's very annoying. So let's... there we go. Never mind. Orcish Ravager. No, it's a Knight of the King. Wow. Okay. This is a dangerous individual. And certainly something that we don't really want to have to deal with most of the time. There we go. Okay, so that's it. That's literally all I have left. I don't have any money left. If I fail here, then that is it for me. That is a huge fail then. Okay, come on now. Alright, so as you could no doubt tell, we basically failed to complete that tournament because I got killed with a 71 damage hit. But I actually felt like it was pretty important to show this exact situation. Because think about it. There have no doubt been many people over the years, and maybe still now, because let's face it, sometimes you get unlucky, right? I mean, maybe if you're on your A game, you're never going to actually die in a tournament. Maybe you're just that good where you never lose a tournament ever. And if you are, then, well, that's great for you. I'm very pleased for you. However, if you're like me, and sometimes you get unlucky and you just get absolutely instantly killed by someone that has a significant amount of power strike, then you're in this situation. And I have 0 cash, as you can see right here. So I actually felt like it was pretty important to kind of show you how to recover from that kind of situation. Because here's the thing. Obviously, if you think about this is pretty easy. You know, I can literally just show you this right now, and this is a super nice, really easy way of gaining back some cash. And I'm just going to go here, just going to steal some cattle from a Saranid fief, Saranid village, that is, and we are literally just going to execute. Well, I say execute, but we're going to slaughter a bunch of cows, and we've just stolen them, and it's absolutely fine. And these guys actually have 0 dinars, but they actually have things like gold ingots and things like that. What is the specialty here? They have tools. I want to make use of this. They allows you to sell some products for a good price. Oh, okay. So basically, they will buy tools for a good price. Oh, okay, I understand that. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I actually have no idea whether this is gonna be actually any good, but what I'm actually planning on doing or trying to do is I'm gonna try to see if I can trade some things that are going to sell for much more elsewhere. I don't know whether this is going to make any difference, but let's actually see if this actually works, because I'm intrigued. So let's get a gold ingot, and we're just going to sell some of this stuff. Let me actually just trade some of this back. I'm going to receive this. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. All right, that's good. And now we're just going to head back to Bloody Cliff. Even though this is one of the annoying things about playing as the orcs, they only have one town at the moment. Obviously, they're not, they're not always going to have one town. They are going to very quickly be able to do something with that. And as you can see, I basically traded all of that stuff for about 1,100 for the gold ingot. I actually don't know whether was that worth it. Was that worth it? I don't think so, actually. I personally don't think it was worth it. So I guess my experiment didn't really work out too well, but it's fine because we now have some cash and that's all we needed. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you, just because in general, a lot of people might actually consider what just happened to be a huge fail. And yeah, sure, you might consider that a huge fail too. However, I just wanted to show you that it is not impossible to recover from that and to actually get back on your feet. And I think that it's pretty important to show those kinds of things, because even someone like me who has played this game for a very, very long time is going to have these kinds of situations occur. I've had these many, many times in the past, and I just wanted to kind of highlight the fact that this kind of stuff still happens. It is still very prevalent all over the place. I'm going to buy this iron, actually. Going to buy the iron right now because there's actually a village back here that buys iron for more money. So let me actually just see. 124 dinars. Yeah, look at that. They buy iron. So look at that. I literally I bought this for 124, and as you can see, they are actually buying it for 316. So this is absolutely insane. This is really, really good. So I literally just got 3 times the amount of cash. So simple actually for us to do that. So that's really nice. And there we go. The orcs are now on their parade. They're doing a wonderful, wonderful thing for everyone around them. Yes, a wonderful, wonderful thing indeed. But yeah, so that was a small demonstration about how to recover from basically having 0 cash without going into any battles, without doing anything significantly risky or whatever. Super, super nice and simple. And you can continue doing that kind of stuff. And obviously in Phantasy Calradia, it is a little bit different to do that in comparison to if you were to do that in the base game, for example, or maybe in a different mod, because many times, if you go and you try to steal some cattle, for example, from a particular village, and then you go to slaughter them, if you slaughter them, you're more than likely... Wow, we only got 2? Are you serious? Wow. That was really unlucky, actually. That is super, super unlucky. But yeah, anyway, you gain full benefit from your guild teachings or skill knowledge. That's the reason why we're actually doing pretty well with the whole slaughtering thing, because I actually have a pretty significant amount of skill in that. And as you can see, my current melee dodge percentage is 48%, if you can believe it. 48%. That's pretty good. I actually wonder, do you think I can increase that? Do you think I can increase that? Maybe I can. I'm going to take off my armor. This is going to look hilarious. And do excuse the half-naked orc. But yeah, I'm actually just going to see. Wait a minute. I think I probably need to move around a little bit just beforehand. Okay, there we go. Now let's actually see if this has changed my dodge chance. It doesn't seem to. 48% is still my dodge chance. So... that's kind of a bit weird considering, but I'm actually not entirely sure what the calculation is and or how it is affected. But whatever the case, it doesn't really matter because we're just going to continue trying to steal some cattle. I do have 4 in looting, and we have the ability to steal up to 12 cattle. I failed to steal any. Really? Okay. Wow. Apparently Orcman is having a bad time. All right. That's kind of sad, isn't it? That is very, very sad indeed. Okay, let's try it again, shall we? I must have gotten really lucky in that first village, because these ones I'm having huge problems actually doing anything, but I guess it doesn't really matter. As I said before, it's basically just free money. You know, it's super free money for us right here. I actually wonder if the Khergit's going to allow me to even enter their town. No, they're not going to allow me to enter, so I will actually have to go... will the undead actually let me enter? I don't think so, right? I guess I'm gonna have to go all the way back to Bloody Cliff, which is not exactly what I wanted to do. I could go to the Drow, but they're very far away too, so I guess I'm just gonna continue walking all the way over there. I'm just gonna speed things up real fast, and hopefully I will get there in due time. I'm actually not entirely sure if I'm even traveling there. Yeah, there we go, okay. Didn't see where my character was, so I was like, what? Is he actually traveling there? Is he not, you know? Anyway, yeah, he was, obviously, as you could see. And now we can just trade some of this, and as you can see, it's actually pretty lucrative, once again. And we're just gonna do this. I really wish there was more cash on these merchants, because as you can see, I'm literally just like bankrupting these guys almost instantaneously. Upon coming in here. And what's really cool about this is, look at this, I haven't won any tournaments. Obviously, if I did win that tournament, I probably would have been able to do some really crazy cool things. Like, for example, I probably could have gotten an enterprise. There's a cursed battlefield here as well, by the way. I actually have no idea what this is all about. I'm gonna save because I'm a little bit worried about doing new content, just in case. Ah, it's actually a hideout. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go in there and actually try out my new mall, because this is something that I actually have never used. I have used something similar to it in the past, but this is going to be pretty fun. Obviously, bear in mind that we do have that 48% dodge chance, and that means any single time we get attacked, we're going to have a 52% chance to get hit. I know, it's pretty insane. You know, to be able to work out that calculation in my head just then, I mean, really. You gotta call me Einstein or something like that, right? Because being able to just ascertain that 100% of the time we're very much an idiot, you know, and then 48% of the time we're not. It's pretty amazing. So, you know, anyway, we're gonna obviously, wow, do some pretty good damage with this thing. Not bad. I was obviously just, I was absolutely just trolling just before. But yeah, anyway. This is going to be pretty nice and easy for us. Let's not get hit by these rocks, because funnily enough, the rocks, surprisingly, are actually very damaging. I was doing some testing earlier, not with this particular character build, but with another character build that I was actually attempting to see whether it would be viable to do a series on. And I went into a battle against some looters, and I was on a horse, I had a bow, and I was shooting them on my bow, and I was doing pretty well, as you might expect, because the bows in Phantasy Calradia actually act a bit more like hit scan weapons, so they have a little bit less travel time in the air when you unleash your shot, which I personally like a great deal. I think that's super fun. But anyway, the point is, I was getting hit by these stones, and the stones were dealing significant damage. So much so, in actual fact, wow, these boots are insane. What? Those boots are absolutely insane. What? Wait a minute. What? What was actually going on here? Why is this trash all the way at the top? What is actually going on here? Look at this. There's insane amounts of really good gear at the bottom here, and there's and there's absolute trash at the beginning. Look at the exquisite juice. Exquisite juice. Look at that, 1700. Are you joking? That's crazy. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm very surprised about this. As you can quite clearly tell, I'm just absolutely shocked that the most expensive stuff wasn't at the top, because I was thinking to myself, yeah, okay, so they've basically got nothing, but in actual fact, no, they have a lot. They actually have a lot of stuff here, and I'm kind of wondering whether I want to get this helmet. No, I don't. No. I might want to get that helmet. No, you know what? I don't even want to use this. Funnily enough, I don't want to use any really heavy armor. That's the thing that I'm going to try to avoid. That's the reason why I felt like this series would actually be kind of interesting, because we are going to be using lighter armor than normal. We're not going to turn into any kind of tank. We're going to be using very light armor, and I'm going to be moving around really fast. If I can continue to, you know, extend my athletics skill, and so on. Anyway, there we go. We're just going to leave that. There we are. Wonderful. And we have a zombie party right here. Hello there, zombies. Let's do it. Yeah, we're actually not moving too slowly. We're not moving too slowly whatsoever on foot, which I very much appreciate, considering I only have 4 athletics. And that just means that I will have to obviously start leveling my agility quite a bit. And these zombies are quite clearly going to be basically archetypal village peasants for the most part, and maybe looters, as you can see. And obviously, because they are indeed undead, they are going to die instead of be knocked unconscious by my maul, which I very much appreciate too, because that means that I don't have to, you know, worry about war of attrition style stuff happening later on, because let's face it, if I do actually end up using this for the greater part of the series, which I highly doubt I will, because I'm thinking I'm probably going to upgrade relatively soon. But look at the, oh, the crush through. The crush through blocks. Yes, that is what I love to see. And we should probably try to get more experience, please. Nice. Kill the zombie warriors. They actually give you decent experience. 124 every single time you hit. I wouldn't mind getting a Morning Star, actually. A Morning Star would be really, really useful for us, because that actually does have, as far as I'm aware at least, crush through blocks as well. And it does piercing damage, so it could be kind of good. However, if you think about the fact that maybe sometimes we might want to take prisoners, and so if we're taking prisoners, it's going to make sense for us to have a blunt weapon to be able to do that, of course. So, you know, that might make sense. Anyway, as you can see, I'm just going to have to get rid of some of these things, because this is not going to sell for as much. Whoa, why do I have these boots? Why do I have these leather caps and so on and so forth? I have no idea. Sometimes I kind of wonder what's going on with me. Yes, anyway, I'm actually going to be using the Morning Star. Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, look, it's much better in terms of speed. It has more damage. It has the ability to crush through blocks. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world to use something like that. So that is exactly what we're going to do. And I'm just going to take some of these things, and there we have it. All right, so we're just going to leave. And we'll just go over to Bloody Cliff. I have a huge amount of loot right now. I'm actually really, really proud that we were able to recover so nicely. Because if you think about it, you know, some of the time you go into a battle and you think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to win this. Then you end up losing, and then you just, well, you've lost your entire army. And then you're supposed to, you know, what, pick yourself back up and, you know, try to get back to the point that you were beforehand. And some of the time that's absolutely demoralizing, you know, super, super demoralizing. That's happened to me many, many times. And so that's the reason why I think, yeah, that's why I say I think it's important to show these kinds of things quite often. Okay, so let's see. I guess that's going to be it for me. I don't have any other places that I can sell my stuff. I mean, I guess I could sell here. There's only 360 available. I mean, that's the funny thing. I can't actually. There's nothing. I don't want to buy anything. That's the whole funny thing. I don't want to buy anything because there is no point. I guess I could buy some of this stuff, but this doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, this is pretty good, and this is only actually, the weight is only 3.0, so yeah, let's just do something like that. It makes us look cool too. I mean, look, makes us look pretty cool, so I like that quite a bit. This is actually slightly better as well, but it does reduce my leg armor, and it does increase my weight, which I'm not a big fan of. So if we can find something similar to that effect, but make it lighter, then that would be really, really nice. But yeah, we'll just sell some of this stuff just to get back up, and there we have it. Okay, let's go into the tavern here, make sure that we're not missing out on any companions. You never know whether we're going to find Unoela, for example, because she is also an orcish companion that would be quite fun to find. Anyway, we're just going to continue leveling ourselves up there, and oh, look at that. I'm going to go for, I'm actually not entirely sure what I'm going to go for right now, because I think maybe it might make sense. While it would be pretty cool to go for 21 in strength, because that would then provide me with the next levels of Iron Flesh and Power Strike. Is that going to be useful? Yeah, okay, fine, we'll do that. And then, you know what? Okay, wait a minute. We'll do 21 in strength, and then we'll do another point in intelligence, because obviously I want to try and get another point in inventory management. That's really going to make a huge difference. And then it's also going to make a difference in regards to spending points in magic defense. And it's also going to make a difference in spending points in... What was the other thing that I wanted to get? What was the other intelligent space thing that I wanted to get? I think that was it, right? I think that was it. Yes. Yes, I think that was indeed it. But yeah, anyway, we're just going to be spending those 2 points over here. Already spent one in inventory management, of course, so we're absolutely fine with that. And then we're just going to go for a couple of points in two-handed. And funnily enough, we're actually only level 4. It's quite amusing because usually in first episodes, I get a lot more... I get a lot more levels because usually I have the find bandit hideout and eliminate it quest, and we did have the bandit hideout, but we just didn't have the quest because the guildmaster didn't want to give me one. I probably could have spoken to Great Warlord Crothu, and then he probably would have provided me with, you know, the quest. Yeah, I decided that I was not going to actually do that. Oh, I'm gonna hunt down this guy. Why not? Might make sense to do that. Anyway. That's going to be it for this episode. If you'd like to see more, then by all means let me know. I personally find this a very fun character archetype to play, and I think that the way that we're playing it is pretty cool too. We're not doing sort of like a standard-ish route, because obviously I did did have a bit of a problem in the tournament, but let's not talk about it. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.